Hello, Cornelius here. I'm going to give you a short presentation about the song called America, written by Neil Diamond and released in 1980. And it's a pop and disco song. So first I'm going to look at the inspiration and the background for this song. And it was written as a tribute to immigration to America in the early 1900s. The inspiration came from the fact that Neil's grandparents themselves were immigrants, and that has actually led many to believe that Neil wrote this song for his grandparents. But it is not something that has been directly said by Neil himself. Alright, with that out of the way, I'm gonna look at the lyrics now. So for the lyric analysis, I'm gonna mainly focus on figurative language, imagery, repetition, and symbolism. So the lyrics of America contains various different elements that come together to create the very popular song that it is. It uses figurative speech to really paint the picture of USA as this great nation and place to be. An example of this is seen in verse 3 on line 3 and 4. Here it says, "In the eye of the storm, in the eye of the storm." Of course, this refers to America being in the middle of action where everything happens and everything is possible. It's not like there's an actual storm. We also see an example of imagery in verse 4 on line 3 and 4. Here it says, "Freedom light burning warm, freedom's light burning warm." This being imagery because a thing such as freedom's light, of course, doesn't exist, but instead refers to the freedom and opportunities that America grants you. And the fact that it's described as burning warm also makes it so that the listener can almost feel it on their own skin. Now, both of these formerly mentioned examples are also examples of the use of repetition throughout the song to highlight the parts that really awakens like the American values inside of you. I'm gonna talk a bit about that later as well, what these American values are. But the main point here is just that there's a lot of repetition usage. And lastly, I'm going to look a bit at some symbolism throughout the text. We can see an example of this in the first verse on line 4. It says, "But not without a star." The star here referring to the fact that they are not traveling blindly, but towards the star, which is America. So next I'm going to look at the theme of the song, which I have interpreted as a positive interpretation of the history of immigration to America. So here I put a lot of focus on positive interpretation, as the history of immigration to America by no means only was a happy story for everyone. Despite this, the song still runs on a happy beat, with lyrics that encourage one to express self-improvement. Next up, I'm going to look at some American values, which are American values, which we can see in the lyrics. So when looking at the lyrics of the song, it's very clear that it's pretty much the embodiment of American values. The song expresses a lot of idealism when it praises the people immigrating to America. We see this in the beginning of the song, in the very first verse. "Far we've been traveling far, without a home, but not without a star." And this was the first verse from line 1 to 4. This is also very closely related to the American value of mobility, which covers things such as starting anew or second chances, as well as patriotism, which the song very much also represents. We see the patriotic aspect around the end of the song in the last verse. Here it says, "Got a dream to take them there, they're coming to America. Got a dream they've come to share, they're coming to America." He also says, "My country, this and thee," which is a very patriotic thing to say because they're kind of united through their identity as Americans. So to put everything into perspective, I have chosen to look at the song "Born in the USA" by Bruce Springsteen that we have been working with in class. And the reason I've done this is because Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen is seemingly also a song that praises being American and being born in America. But in fact, like, the reason I say seemingly is because when we analyze the lyrics, it's very clear that it's not so much to praise America, but more to criticize the way that America handled, especially the situation in Vietnam. So Bruce Springsteen is kind of like the opposite, or Born in the USA is kind of like the opposite of this song. It criticizes a lot of American values like patriotism, because it says that like the patriotic aspects that led to America participating in the Vietnam War was a very bad thing, and the song expresses that with a very sad underlying tone throughout the entire song. Whereas America by Neil Diamond is the exact opposite. It praises patriotism, and it has a constant positive beat throughout the entire song with no underlying dark aspects. So they are kind of opposite in that perspective, which is why they are good to kind of highlight each other's key points. And yeah, that was about it.